One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family, one people, one planet, one love.
Good morning and welcome to SoulCall Sundays. My name is Lisa Ferraro, and SoulCall Sundays is a product of SoulCall Ministries, and you can find out more about us at soulcallministries.org. This morning, I am so thrilled to invite Natalia Zukerman, affectionately referred to as Farmer Natalie. We're going up on the farm this week, and it's sowing the seeds of spirituality. Many of you have adopted the ways of nature, which Emerson would say, adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. I think during this global pandemic, patience has definitely been tested, and I think many of us are starting to get the beauty of why it is considered a virtue. We've had the opportunity to put that one to practice, and hopefully you're doing well. But here's one opportunity to participate with the pace of nature. So we thought we'd bring Natalia in to share some of the wisdom she's gleaned over the last, is it 9 weeks?
Oh my God, is it? Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to upset anyone. So tell us about, where are you? What are you doing?
I am in a little town called Millerton in the Hudson Valley in New York, right on the Taconic mountain range, which is one of the oldest landforms on our planet. It's 400 million years old.
400 million? No.
Yeah.
That's almost as many likes as we have on Facebook right now. I'm just kidding. Wow. Okay.
That's why we're retiring next week.
Right.
Yeah, it's an incredibly powerful part of the world. And I grew up, I'm actually the last house in New York State. You can see Connecticut right there. And my parents, when I was a little kid, they had a house down the road. And I would sit in the backyard for hours. I wanted to be Laura Ingalls Wilder very badly. And I just coveted that lifestyle. We lived mostly in Manhattan, and I just always really felt like a fish out of water. So it's funny to my whole family that I have ended up back down the road. I think
And as Laura Ingalls Wilder, I mean, you're doing it. Ta-da! So you're in a greenhouse which you built from a kit, like from nothing. Talk about patience.
Yeah, well, I can show you. This is the manual Bible that created this thing. This It's like hieroglyphs.
Wow.
This came in 4,000 parts.
Wow. Like the toys we would and nephews.
Yeah, that's how I learned all my curse words as a kid. My mom putting together some sort of Barbie dream house.
That's awesome.
Anyhow, yeah, we decided we wanted a greenhouse because of being able to extend our growing season. It's very stormy out here. Really until Memorial Day we have frost, and even sometimes after.
Right.
So
that's
greenhouse.
Generally when people want to put tomato plants in and things. So you got
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So we get to do a little bit sooner and plant some things in here and bring them. But we ordered the kit. We worked for about 25 hours on it, and it fell over in the middle of the night storm. Yeah. I mean, this thing it's a balloon basically. So if it's not really sealed and tight, the wind comes, which it does. I'm on this huge, I can sort of turn and you can see this enormous field, 16 acres of farmland, not ours, and that right next door. So yeah, the wind picked up and it just, sort of Wizard of Oz, like fell over. So we had to start again. And that is the process that you go through over and over. Things fall apart and you just pick it back up again. And, nothing is in the shape that you ever think it's going to be in. So, our planting season, we thought we would start 6 weeks ago. Yeah. We're beginning now, really.
I have a question for you. You're an exceptional musician as well as an artist, many different mediums, painting, and I don't know what it is you can't do, art and expression.
Yeah.
For real, I've witnessed this. So my question is, like, the parallels in helping people to recognize they could do this. What kind, I like to always draw parallels with, like, if you can do this, you can apply those same skills to do this thing. So there's like willpower, determination, a little bit of orneriness. What else? Like the chutzpah, perhaps. Like what can you offer someone if they're going to take this up? So what you just shared was, it's not always just like the manual says it's going to go.
You always want a manual in life, and sometimes you get the manual and it's still not all that helpful. So you have to follow your internal gut. And we ended up kind of figuring out the main stuff and realizing, they're not showing you some very basic things, which is if you put the joinery on the joints, it's going to be stronger. And that's true in writing too. Like, nobody tells you the perfect way to wrap up a song, or it's so wonderful to change one word in the last chorus. It'll just be this like little gift that you get, and you don't get that every time you write a song. There's no course necessarily. Sometimes you're gifted one, and it kind of comes out fully formed, but more often than not, you're just getting in and digging and trying to make it work, and sometimes it totally falls apart. And actually, as a writer, I think and actually now this place is becoming littered with notebooks as well, because I'm sort of a lyric hoarder. And I think anybody in the creative writing or songwriting disciplines should be as well, that you never know when something's going to be useful again later. Like a tool, we found something underneath the porch. It's this long metal pole. What is this? And it reminded me of, I had volunteered in high school on a Native American reservation in Montana. And one of the things we did, the Salish Kootenai Reservation, and one of the things we did was build a fence. And we used these pile drivers. That thing has come in so handy.
Wow.
So, finding the tools that this land has given us too. Some made, some not man-made. Has been really amazing.
We're usually on tour a lot and not home very much at all. And so getting our heads around that, getting your head around that, it seems like what I'm watching you do, just because we get to communicate on a regular basis, getting your head around it kind of came through getting your heart into where you are. Like, so to get your head around something, maybe you have to get your heart into something else, and then all of a sudden you can get with it. So this passion, I think it's interesting how things go, like the big wheels of time and life, and these smaller ones that we can't really connect until one of the bigger ones shifts. Where am I going with that? I'm watching what you two have accomplished in a year. The transformation that has taken place on that property, inside and out, as within, so without. You started on the inside so you can nourish yourselves. And now it just continues to spill out into the beauty around you.
It's one of the gifts of this time. If this time is giving gifts, and I believe that, somebody like you who you have this dream for 20, 25 years to create a ministry, and then, now I'm sheltering in place.
Yeah.
All the pieces might fall together at a time when you never would have expected it.
Yeah.
8-9 weeks ago, you were like, what am I going to do with my time? Although I don't know that that's ever really an issue for you, but you're given this time to really dive in and give it the attention that it needs and wants. And that's the same here. I've always wanted to tend to land. I always feel better, ever since I was a kid. I dug my hands into this earth here when I was a child, and felt right. Not just because of Little House on the Prairie and my fetish, but something connected to something very ancient and deep in me.
Where do you find inspiration on the days where it's, even though you're fulfilling another dream, do you ever have to just push through a moment, aside from when your greenhouse blew over the hillside and
I mean, I learned the lessons later. In the moment, there was a lot of crying and frustration and letting myself feel all the feelings.
Yeah.
And I think that that's still where I'm at with this. There's a moment of every day that I just weep for the planet and the loss that's going on. It's so palpable.
Mhm.
And like I said a moment ago, the gifts that it has also granted are innumerable, and we don't even know yet.
Or what you got planted over there?
Right down by my feet are some little baby kales, and we have kale from seed. We've planted arugula, kale, snap peas, radishes, and then we started inside because this was all going on. So we ended up getting a little grow light and creating pots all over the house, like every windowsill. And then this grow light, we have little gem lettuces and broccoli, marigolds and sunflowers. And some of them are making it. We called them all our babies, which a few weeks ago I said, I think we need to stop doing that because it's very painful when they don't make it. A lot of them don't make it, and that's part of it. Right here, planted in the very same spot at the very same time in the very same compostable, biodegradable containers. You put a seed in here, seed starter soil, compost, sunflower. One made same package of seeds. I don't know why, but I just know. I don't know.
That's life.
Yeah. I don't know is our human practice all the time, but particularly right now.
Be in the mystery, pulling us all to that edge, that growing edge, and it's not comfortable. We like to know. The only thing we know right now is that we don't, and just learning how to participate with that and trusting, taking each step.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slowing down to the speed of words, from linear to circular. You in your colorful dress, whispering all kinds of pink secrets. A surprise when she returned, wild, restless and yearning, from icy white to vibrant green. We emerge. You make me feel like spring, with you wildly becoming. April has me reeling, from my roots to my ceiling. May might see me burst into flame. Secret in full view, pure light blooming. My heart's no fool. You got me dancing to a brand new song. We sing along to the wind. You make me feel like spring, with you wildly becoming. April has me reeling, from my roots to my ceiling. They might see me burst into flame. Slowing down to the speed of love.
one of the most amazing lessons I learned over and over and over again is, something Rachel Carson said, which is, in nature, nothing exists alone. And we bought a pear tree and planted it. And
Oh yeah.
Maybe we should read a little about that. Well, pears need other pears to cross-pollinate, and it needs to be a different variety. Same with any fruiting plant.
Yes.
Same with what's called companion planting, like tomatoes love to be planted next to carrots. Certain things, they feed the nutrients of the ground. It does it naturally. You never see, you're never going to go into the wild and see rows of plants. That's not a thing.
Right.
We create that for ease.
Ease.
So it's been an amazing crash course, something I've been interested in my whole life. And when I lived for a while in California, I just kind of threw things in the ground. And California, you could just go.
Yeah.
I didn't have to know that much. Here, it's like the pH of the soil, and it's different up here, which is slightly higher elevation than it is down there.
Yeah.
It's way deeper clay over here.
There's a great Yogananda called him a saint, Luther Burbank, botanist and horticulturist, right, from Santa Rosa area in California. There's a whole farm there. If you walk around, one of the things he was most proud of, beside the Burbank potato, was the spineless cactus plant. Because in creating this spineless cactus plant, the way he did that was every day he just sent it love and convinced it that it did not need spines. Isn't that deep? So I'm thinking about the way you participate with, like, oh, let's not call them babies, because you love them all.
And some of them you have to clip, the first bloom. I was telling you this the other day, that the first bloom of a peony, the first year that it blooms, you're meant to clip it. And then they can bloom up to 100 years.
That's incredible.
With very little maintenance. But, all that energy that's going to this new life, if you clip it back, it's like, oh, hang on a second. The plant learns patience too.
I just can't help but think, like, your participation with your love and tending it, it's energy, but it's also the material thing too, that combination. Do you know what I'm getting to?
Ultimate non-attachment practice, which creativity is as well. I think we get to this point in the creative process where you get really precious. When we were making our duo EP, we got a little tight at one point. I was like, oh, what's going to happen to that song? What if we move one thing? And it's, everything is mutable, and every car stereo sounds different. It's never going to be
Sure. Sounds
a
like
little windy.
Are you tied down?
Batten down the hatches. Oh my God, it's just 86 degrees in here.
Oh.
I think it's a cross between science, study, about persistence, and really, you have to be there every day to help things along. And then also a belief that we're not in control. You're not in control. So I did everything I could. I pruned it exactly right. I read every book, and the crop still didn't do well. Yeah. Even though I don't know. It was some wrong combination, that thing was not meant to be in that moment. And, I'm not an actual farmer. Let me just say. Yeah. I know some farmers around here who that's their actual livelihood. And wow, what an amazing road that is.
When I'm thinking about a spiritual practice, making farming or nature your spiritual practice, participating with it, growing things, overemphasize one part or another can also do harm. Like, for example, I know you planted a whole row of trees, and one or two of the trees got too much water for one reason or another. So too much attention or too much of one thing throws off the balance. So I think I'm loving hearing this, because it's hands-on, heart in mind science, in finding the whole balance between the spirit, mind, body connection, and then the out picturing of it in nature as it shows us how to tend or participate, and there's some very disciplined, like with a spiritual regimen, even when their body's just telling them, I need to just sleep, their mind wants to push. To me, that feels like overwatering.
That's so great. And I think so many people are feeling that right now. Like you're supposed to be creating the next great American novel, or
Yeah.
launching the greatest online ministry ever, or doing something. And yes, that's wonderful. And life continues. This could be that time for you and it could not. So I think to remind yourself, the overwatering, that's a real thing. You think you can't kill a cactus, but you have to water a cactus sometimes.
Right.
Like people get cactuses because they're like, I'm never home. Like all these musicians I know are like, I just got a bunch of succulents because I'm never home. They do need tending to sometimes, but the balance of listening to it and seeing.
That was my thing. My Italian nature and succulents. I always kill them because I give them too much. That was always that's too much.
Well, I'm finding that a lot. I'm overdoing everything. And, there's also, that's part of the patience part. I want to just tend to it and make it work and have it be in my plan. And that's just not how it goes.
Yeah. So if there's one sentence, or are you writing a lot of songs about nature now, even more?
I'm writing
a lot of poems. You have one you could share with us?
Yeah, let's see. So I've been coming out here in the mornings, coffee in the greenhouse.
Coffee in the greenhouse, I love it.
Okay. The crunch of frost underfoot as I cross the field to the greenhouse. Tiny sparkles of frozen dew on every leaf. This spring morning is waking up slowly. I worry that each bootstep is crushing the tiny plants. How could that sound mean anything but destruction? But plants are stronger than that, more resilient than that. And I am not that impactful, strong, or important. My effect, not that lasting and powerful, and hopefully not as destructive. And underneath the ground, the network of rooted wires sharing information across fields, across time.
That's beautiful. Any last parting words of wisdom this morning from farmer to friend, and metaphors for life, having roll up your sleeves and really literally, figuratively digging in?
I can't wait to it's also very sadistic to be loving these creatures and to saying, I'm going to eat you.
That's right. That's the reward.
I wanted to read, actually, one of the greatest books that I own and that I've ever read is called Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. She's a botanist, Native American botanist. So I thought I'd read a little preface. She says,
I could hand you a braid of sweetgrass, as thick and shining as the plait that hung down my grandmother's back. But it is not mine to give, nor yours to take. Ashk belongs to herself. So I offer in its place a braid of stories meant to heal our relationship with the world. This braid is woven from 3 strands: indigenous ways of knowing, scientific knowledge, and the story of an Anishinaabe scientist trying to bring them together in service to what matters most. It is an intertwining of science, spirit, and story, old stories and new ones that can be a medicine for our broken relationship with Earth, a pharmacopoeia of healing stories that allow us to imagine a different relationship in which people and land are good medicine for each other.
Wow.
This is brilliant, and it's just gorgeous book of lore and stories and science and exactly what you're saying. It's 3 strands of indigenous knowing, scientific knowledge, and a story of a scientist.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes, I can't recommend this enough. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us this morning, and hopefully we'll put some photos of some of the plants you planted in. But it's so fun. Come over for salad, maybe in June. I think I'll venture out in June. Yeah, we'll be doing some online things. Once we are able to be physically together, we'll have some new music, and I can't wait. I'm just putting that out there. I can't wait.
For that, little planties.
Yeah. We love you so much. Natalia Zukerman, thank you for joining us on SoulCall Sundays, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Namaste.
I invite you to take a comfortable position, either on the floor or in a chair. If you're in a chair, try putting your feet flat on the floor. Keep your hands open at the juncture of your thighs and abdomen. Keep your spine straight. You can squeeze your shoulder blades together to see how that's going. Keep your chin parallel to the floor, which opens up the back of the neck, the medulla oblongata, the mouth of God. You're going to just ever so gently lift your gaze to the third eye center, cosmic consciousness. And right before we close our eyes, let's take in all of the light that's around you. You can look up if you are outside, take in the sky, a light bulb, a candle, something that's in your space. Gently close your eyes with your gaze lifted to that third eye center, with all that light now dripping down into your being. As you inhale, imagine that light spreading out throughout your entire body. And as you exhale, send that light back out into the world. Breathe in and bring that light back into your body, spreading out through the trillions of cells inside of you, knowing that it's giving you life force, energy. Send it right back out into the world. Notice if there's anywhere in your body that feels a little cranky, or if you know that there's a part of you that physically needs some healing right now. On your next inhalation, bring that light into your body, right to that point that needs it most. Spend some time there, letting that light circle around the achy part. Notice the sounds around you. If you're in my greenhouse with me, then you notice those sounds. And just as the way that we practice with breath, you can notice and not assign any name to what's happening, any value. Just notice. Here where I am, the light is beginning to get brighter. The sun is getting higher in the sky this morning, and I'm pulling all of that into my being. Knowing that I also shine a light out into the world. With every inhale, bring that light deeper, deeper inside. And with every exhale, let it radiate out further and further around your body, around the space you're in, your home, your neighborhood, your community, your city, your town, your state, your country, this planet, this solar system, and beyond. When you're ready, pull that light right back in from beyond our solar system, inside of our solar system, around our planet, around the country, around the city and town where you live, your neighborhood, your community, your own personal space, around your body, and deep back inside.
Once again, thank you for joining us for SoulCall Sundays, part of SoulCall Ministries. To find out more about us, check us out on the web at soulcallministries.org. And thank you so much for your generous contributions and donations. If you would like to participate in giving, it's soulcallministries.org/give. And you could also send it old-fashioned way. You could send it a check in the mail made out to SoulCall, and you'll find more information about that at soulcallministries.org/give. Your contributions helped us to do a juice drop. If you have a project you would like for us to help you organize in your city, drop us a line at info@soulcallministries.org. info@soulcallministries.org. Also, take the opportunity to find us on social media. On Facebook, please like us and comment and share. If you like, comment, and share on Facebook, you will be entered into a drawing where you could win a free seat in our next class coming up in June. We've got 2 classes coming up in June. More about those next week. But if you like, share, and leave a comment for us, we'll enter you in to win a free spot in one of the 2 classes we have coming up in June or later in the year, as our way of saying thank you for spreading the word about SoulCall Ministries. And this Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday, we've got 2 new programs. 7 o'clock in the morning is our Wake Up with the Consciousness Cafe. Well, I'll be joined by Qigong teacher and all-around bubbly, beautiful human, Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz. And then in the evening, it's Soul Sessions, a brand new Soul Session at 7 o'clock p.m. I'll be joined with the music of Laura Berman, Gary Lynn Floyd, Andy Anderson, and myself. Thank you for being with us here at SoulCall Ministries. We appreciate you, and we give back to your community. Check us out once again at soulcallministries.org. Much love and light.